Disabilities Issues and Updates on BCTV is supported by the Berks County Center for Independent Living, Abilities in Motion.
Disabilities, Issues, and Updates on BCTV is
And welcome to Disabilities, Issues, and Updates. My name is Teresa Faulkner, and I'm your host for today. For our home viewers, if you'd like to call in with questions, the number you can call is 610-378-0426. Today's topic is Your Vote, My Vote, Every Vote Counts. We're going to be dealing with our general primary election, which will take place April the 26th, 2016. I'd like to welcome our guest, Anna Arias, who is from the Berks County Election Services Department, bilingual, the HAVA, if I'm saying that correctly, HAVA coordinator.
Yes.
First of all, let's answer this question. What is HAVA?
HAVA stands for Help Americans to Vote Act, and that's what it stands for. It was designed to help those that need further help in regarding to vote, and the purpose of that is like people with disability. That's part of it. So people with disability were included, and were one of the main parts why this HAVA position was created.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we want to get started. We want to get as many questions and concerns of our viewers answered, and so let's start. Does the building I vote have to be accessible?
Yes, the building, we have currently 199 polling places. Okay. Out of 199, we had 197 that are accessible, ADA accessible. Mm-hmm. That's what we call it, is ADA accessible, which stands for American with Disability. ADAs, that's what it stands for. It's accessible, and our department ensures that it is available for those that need further assistance or adjustment needs to be made.
Okay,
to make it accessible.
Okay. How does the election services ensure that our polling places are accessible?
How we ensure that the polling places are accessible is by locating in the accessibility. So when we go to the polling place, if it's a new polling place, we go there and we ensure that everything is accessible, that it has everything that is needed for those that needs further assistance in regards to disability, or that, for example, we had like a ramp or adjustments are made to ensure that it is accessible.
Very good. Two-part question. How are the polling places surveyed for accessibility? And the next question is, what is done if they find a barrier to voting on election day?
Okay. Well, how our department is accessible, or we ensure that it's accessible, we use a survey. And the survey is the proof by the Pennsylvania Department of State. Mm-hmm. And that survey specifically help us to find what is needed to cover all those that have disabilities. Mm-hmm. So we ensure that everyone that has the disability, and we go through a step by step. So per se, if, like I stated previously, if a ramp is needed, doorknobs are put in place, parking signs, if it's needed, anything that is needed that will make it accessible in the outside is done prior. If it's not there in place, we'll make the adjustments on the election day.
Okay, wonderful. I've heard this absentee ballot. What is it and what is it for?
An absentee ballot is designed for those that are not going to be on their polling place on the election day.
Okay.
So the purpose of it is to ensure that those that, for example, have to go on vacation or are going to be working out of town or not going to be able to, for some reason, be at their polling place on election day, they can use this document, which allow them to vote. Now, there are two steps for it.
Okay.
The first step is the application.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the second step is the submission, to submit it. Mm-hmm. Okay. So mm-hmm. when you first apply, and the deadline for the application is April 19th.
Okay. They're close to that date.
That, yeah, and we're very close to it.
Very close to the
yeah.
date.
And then the Go ahead.
Go ahead. The deadline
And
date?
then the line to submit your ballot, because once you apply, you receive a paper ballot, a ballot that you can make your selection and vote.
Okay.
So once you receive that, you have to submit it back again to our office by the 22nd.
Okay.
We urge everyone, all voters, Berks County voters, to ensure that they do it. When they do it, make sure that they don't wait for the last minute. So if it's April 19 when they have to submit it, please submit it before. They have
Okay.
until 5 p.m., not 11 at night.
Okay.
So they have to 5 p.m. to our offices if open. And then for submission as well, please do not wait for the last minute because we have so many coming in.
Okay. My next question. Do I need to register before I'm voting at the polling place? And do they make voting booths so that I can use them if I have a disability?
It is, yes, you need to register in order to go to the polling place. That is correct. You
Okay.
must be registered to vote. Now, do we have a stand or something for you, for your specific disability?
For my disability.
Unfortunately, we do not know what disability you have.
Okay.
Okay. So what we do ensure, like I stated before, we make sure that we go through the survey approved by the Department of State, and then once the survey is done, we ensure that everything on election day, if something is missing, if something needs to be adjusted, is put in place.
Okay.
That's all cover all the outside. Now the inside, we make sure, our machine is adjustable.
Okay.
So if we have someone that comes in with a wheelchair, the machine can be adjusted lower so the person can make that selection. If we have someone, for instance, that is visually impaired, we have the headset. So we have a set that can help them, cast their vote on election day.
Wonderful.
So they can use it, they can put it on and listen to their selections.
Very good. This is a big question every election. Do I need identification?
It is a big question because it actually was on the heat like for the past 2 years,
Yes,
whether
yes.
the state would approve it or not. And it is a big question for a lot of people because a lot of people still confuse it. They go into the voting place and they ensure that they have an ID with them. You do not need ID if you're going to a polling place and you have voted before. So if you are going for the first time, yes, you do.
Okay.
You do need ID.
Okay.
And there is a list of identification that is also on our website. You can go to our website, to the Berks County website,
Okay.
and select election services. You'll find tons of information there that will be useful for those that need further information. Also, the Votes PA also has a lot of information in regards to what are your rights to vote, and a list of that is used. But usually the ID that is used is the ID, the license,
Driver's license,
on
okay.
ID, and then we have a list of other options that you can use as well.
Okay, and they can go to those websites or contact your office for more information
Yes,
concerning
definitely.
that. What happens when I get to the polls and my name is not listed on the voters list? I've seen this.
Oh
What
my
happens?
God! A lot of people panic.
Yes,
They
yes.
do panic. If I wouldn't know how the system works, I will panic as well.
Absolutely.
In a situation like that you go and your name is not on the polling book, what is done is that the poll workers are to ensure that there hasn't been a kind of mistake. How do they ensure that there hasn't been a mistake made either by our office or by the voter for some reason? Well, the poll worker will call us.
Okay.
So let's say I'm at the polling place right now, and I'm there, and my name is nowhere to be found.
Okay.
And this is not the first time I voted, and I'm going crazy about it. So what we do, the judges have a cell phone, which we give them
Okay.
to communicate. So they will call us, and we'll find them in the system to ensure that everything is fine. Sometimes what happens is that people they have been voted in there, but they do not realize that if they move, everything changes. Okay.
Yes.
If they move and they make those adjustments, change their address, then that is changed as well. So
Okay.
they need to. Then the prison is a different prison.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
So we do ensure that you do.
Very good.
That they do either are registered. If they're not, then there's another option. They can do provisional. And that doesn't determine if they register or not. If we can now find them in the system, they can vote provisional. We can do that, and then that goes under investigation. And there's a process that goes along with it. And there's a little form that the voter would take with them, and when we give them a date that they can call back and to ensure if their vote count, because a lot of people want to make sure that if they voted, what's counted.
Great. Okay. Very good. Very good. Another question. If I'm in a facility or under guardianship, can I still vote?
Yes, you can still, definitely, you can still vote. If you are under guardianship, you can still vote. The process of that is, some people, and since this is the civility program, and that's what we're touching base, I just want to make clarification. There are some people that, for some reason, even though they have guardianship or they're a facility, they sometimes cannot physically go to their voting place.
Okay.
Okay. If that is the case, they have a choice. They have another option, which is they can fill out a form, and that is like an absentee ballot, but it's permanent.
Okay.
That form is has a further step that has to be signed by their doctor.
Okay.
So whoever is the doctor can sign and state that the person actually is, cannot be physically at the voting place, and that is into place. But yeah, if a
You
person,
can still vote.
yeah, they can still vote. And that, if that's the answer to your question, yes.
Yes. Is it possible for a person with a disability to work as a poll worker?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Good, good.
And we actually do have people that have disability and they work for us.
Okay.
If anyone is interested, yes, we are hiring. At this point, we have what we need so far. But for the following election, if you are interested, yes, definitely you can call the office and apply, and we'll give you further information.
How do you let people know that they have been changed, that their polling place has been changed? How do you let them know if they were at one particular place and it has changed? How do you inform them of the change?
We inform them of the change by sending them notification, whether it's a memo or a letter. So if any change has remained, we do send them a letter stating what changes. And if the polling place, for instance, which might happen in November, that's more our polling places will be changed or split, then they'll get notified for it. All voters that will be affected by these changes will be notified, definitely.
Very good. I think we talked a little bit about accommodations, about persons with low vision, blind, hearing impaired. That's where you actually shared that there are things in place that will assist those with those type of disabilities. Is that
Yes,
correct?
that
wanna
is
reiterate.
correct.
Very good. Is a private place provided for a voter to hear the options and then be able to cast their vote?
Yes, our machine has a curtain, okay?
Okay.
So when you go in, if you have voted before, when you go in, there's a curtain that covers you up to give you privacy.
Okay.
If the case, in the event that the voter is visually impaired and needs to have listened to the audio ballot, we call it, then they have a headset, and then they'll be inside with the curtains on it, so they can just cast their vote there.
Okay.
And gives them privacy. We also, if it's a professional ballot that needs to be done, then they also have a stand in which they can have privacy as well.
I want to address the issue, the vote that's going to take place on April the 26th. What is it for? What is that what are we voting for on April the 26th?
On April the 26th, we have what they call the presidential election.
Okay.
Okay. But besides that, there are other titles as well included. We have the state and other positions, a list of titles that we included. So it would not only be the president. We have all those titles are on the website, and anyone that need further information can go into our website and see the titles. We also make it public on the newspaper.
Okay.
So there are announcements their notification to communicate and inform the community when and how. Is the newspaper is published at the beginning before the election starts, so probably 2 months before, and then towards the end, just to ensure if there has been any changes, the community is informed as well.
I think what we're talking about really goes along with our theme: your vote, my vote, every vote really
Yes.
counts.
Yes.
It's important that people vote.
Definitely.
What physical barriers do voters with disabilities face in Berks County?
That is our office ensure. I mean, we work really, really hard. We make sure that every voters, regardless of their disability, will be able on election day to cast their vote, because that is very important for our community and for the county as a whole. Because if you think about it, we become a family. We are a family, and we become a family. And as a whole, people are informed into what is going to happen. Yes.
Okay, all right. We live in a world that is just so full of technology. What technology is currently available for disabled persons in the voting population?
For disabled person, again, the machine gets adjusted.
Okay.
So it gets adjusted to the audio part, that those that are not able to read, they are for some reason they can listen to it.
Okay.
And they can cast a vote as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. There are some viewers out there that I'm sure that are very interested in statistics, numbers. So this question is, what percentage of people with disabilities vote in Berks County? Any idea?
That is so hard to tell. I mean, people have no idea. That is so hard to tell because our number changes every year.
Every year.
Okay, and people that might be disabled today, they might not be disabled tomorrow. And for that reason, it's really hard for us to come up with an exact number on what the percentage is.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, very good. I'm going to put you on the spot. I want you to let our viewers who might be Spanish speaking, to let them know about the dates of the election. Can you do that for me?
Of course.
I appreciate it.
Para todos estos, su audiencia que está escuchando ahora, que son de habla hispana, el día de las elecciones es abril 26. Abril 26 de 2016 es el día de las elecciones, y las urnas estarán abiertas desde las 7 de la mañana hasta las 8 de la noche.
Very good. And if they would have questions or concerns, can you give a number or a place where they can call?
Yes.
For instruction?
Of course, yes. Si tienen cualquier pregunta, pueden llamar a la oficina de elecciones del condado de Berks, y la oficina de elecciones está, el número de teléfono para comunicarse con nosotros es el 610-478-6490. Otra vez, ese número es 610-478-6490, y nuestra oficina estará encantada de ayudarle. Por favor, llame con cualquier pregunta.
Thank you so much. What is the deadline to register to vote for November's general election, and what is the date to vote?
For the November general election, the deadline to register for it is in October. Just bear with me 1 second.
No problem.
Okay, so that is October 11, because my mind is still on the primary.
That's correct.
You're throwing me off.
I'm sorry.
My mind is still on the primary mode right now. So it is October 11 is a last day to register to vote.
Okay.
For the general election.
Okay.
And then the date of vote will be November 8th.
November the 8th. Great. What is the date of the general primary presidential election? We've been plugging this date from the beginning of our show today.
Please no. The date for the election is April 26th. Please know that these elections are very important, and a lot of people tend to neglect it because they say, oh, it's the first election, I care more about the general election that's going to happen in November. This will help the community and the state, the entire United States, to select a group of people who's going to be representing their parties on the November elections.
Okay, okay.
So it is very important to people that people go out, vote, and help all together. We can select to who we want to fit the position the best.
Very,
Yes.
very, very, very good. We definitely want to put a plug out there to our viewers today that if you are not registered to vote or if you have questions, please do not hesitate to call, find out, because remember, as our theme says, your vote, my vote, every vote counts. And so we want to just encourage all of our viewers today, even if you talk to someone who is not registered, or even if you're in conversation with family members who are not registered, or have questions, and they might have some questions as far as if they're disabled or a person with disabilities,
Yes.
that they have, refer them to the places, because everything is being put in place so that we all can go in and vote.
Yes.
Any last comments or anything, Anna, before we end our show today that you'd like to give as a plug from the Election Services Office?
Just to encourage everyone to go out there and do what they're supposed to do on election day and vote, and know that every vote counts, and just go out there and cast their vote.
Very good. Abilities in Motion is actually located at 210 North 5th Street, and our direct number is 610-376-0010. I think it's posted on our screen. Please, if you have further questions concerning your vote, my vote, every vote counts, please don't hesitate to give us a call. I think this is soon going to be the end of our program. It has been a pleasure. It has been a pleasure, Anna.
As well.
A pleasure. We thank you so much for coming. We thank you so much for giving, making us more, if not informed, more informed about what we need to do to get ready for this vote on April the 26th, 2016.
Yes, and I thank you for inviting our office. Actually, I think our community needs the information, and that's what we're here for. And anytime, yes.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. We thank you for coming. We thank you for sharing. We thank you for being a part. We appreciate. Goodbye. Have a good day.
Disabilities, issues, and updates on BCTV is supported by the Berks County Center for Independent Living.